It's the time to get down.
I bet you will pay. And let me just tell you, here's a piece from Russian television all about. we want to say thank you to Russian television, RT, Al Jazeera. You know, people say you left us. No, they won't. They let us use videos. Let me go try to show something from USA Today, CNN. They'll be out. They already. We get so many threats. Even though we have the fair use right to use these things in the interest of news, especially for these broadcasts like this, which are not commercial broadcasts. But they're so busy trying to throw around and threaten everybody. So thank you, Al Jazeera English. Thank you, Russia Television, because you're not suing us or making complaints that can't even be responded to, like those cowards at Universal Music Group. Okay.
Oh, you had to call them out. Why'd you call them?
Yeah, because they see all these people trying to block us from doing what we have the legal right to do because we represent internet television. So here we go with a piece from Russia Television where we have to go all about BP. And they're going to tell us, Vic, look at that big P. They say Bush Petroleum.
That's cold, man. It's supposed to be beyond petroleum. Come on, man.
Hello and welcome to the business program here on RT. It's 2 years since Robert Dudley, then head of TNK-BP, fled Russia after a dispute with Russian shareholders. On Tuesday, he was declared the new boss of BP, taking office in October. And in a final twist, Tony Hayward may return to Russia as a director of TNK-BP. Zinaida Medvedeva reports.
Robert Dudley has already earned his credit for handling of the Gulf of Mexico oil spill. The Gulf represents 1/3 of the company's oil and gas wells and refineries. Add his experience in Russia, where TNK-BP generates about 1/4 of BP's revenues, and he should be well prepared to take over the whole company. Russia is likely to remain central to BP's strategy, with analysts dismissing media reports that the company could sell a stake in its cash generator TNK-BP, possibly to Gazprom or Rosneft. TNK-BP is a cash generator. On an original investment of $7 billion in 2003, BP has already seen $12 billion of dividends.
Officially, for the last year, TNK-BP reported for more than $35 billion of revenues. And if taken standalone, TNK-BP indeed is the largest BP subsidiaries in terms of revenues and probably in terms of EBITDA and net profit. Of course, TNK-BP is one of the largest cash sources for BP. So obviously, cash generation now for BP is one of the primary targets.
Countries are lining up to pull the petals from BP's flower. The company has already confirmed that it's looking to sell off assets, with few details announced. ExxonMobil and Chevron are both in talks to take over the company. But first things first, to stop the leaking.
Vic, you can take over for me for a minute and I'll take over for you.
That's still not done yet. We're still 2 to 3 weeks away from that. Even though the spill has now been contained,
I don't like
it has
this
not
outfit.
been plugged. So the first order of things is to get the plug done. Second is to figure out how the reinvestments are going to be done. And then it's a question of reconstructing and winning back the trust of the American people.
Robert Dudley has shown his skills at getting a good price when he sold upstream assets of TNK-BP. That talent will come in handy now that BP needs to raise cash to pay for consequences of its oil spill in U.S. waters. The question is how much he has to dilute the BP brand in the process.
Oh, what was that, a hiccup or you just...
I think that was the end of it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you once again for Russia Television, RT, used formerly Russia Television. So as you can see, everybody's talking about it, Vic.
Yeah.
So what do you think? So you guys get another new spokesperson.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey,
wow.
You know what? Look, the part that I thought was interesting here is when the CEO, Tony, basically said, I want my life back. So let me just try to get this straight. Since April, when this spill has taken place, April, May, June, July, 4 months. So wanting his life back out of 4 months is what is more important. And plus, getting his life back gives him a golden parachute of $18 million. So how much struggle? That's less than almost
Vic, it's
a season.
stressor. That's this. You're underestimating the stress of leading. Let me just tell you, Vic, you don't understand the stress. When you're used to those high thread count sheets,
Yes.
and then you have to travel
Yes.
and sleep on one of these ocean liners as you're on the way to invest. Vic, that's a terrible degree of adjustment. I want you to know. You just imagine the food, Vic.
Yeah.
You're used to a certain level of food. Tony's used to a certain level of. He's very sensitive intestinal tract, Vic.
You know what?
And now he has to travel and get different food. I'm sure he gets the runs. I bet you he's shitting all over the place. Look at him.
I timed you today.
Because you know he looked like he was full of
42 minutes before you had to go there and say.
Before I said shit?
Yes, you did. Okay, I got you. I got you on this one. I got you.
I just said, you could tell these people are full of shit.
See,
so I'm just saying, that eventually they have to release it.
You know what? I'm sorry. He gets a parachute and it's golden. Some people just want a parachute.
Don't you
even
wish you ranked? You don't rank. That's what that's there to prove to you where you sit in the food chain.
Oh, man, you know what?
American public, you do not rank. You do not rank, okay? And now you see.
Well, you know what? Let me say this. Oh, I hate to say this, Mario. I'm going to ask you this question. You let me know. Okay, let's just pretend the spill never happened.
Uh-huh.
And
we about to do that. I thought they were doing that. Very good, Vic. That's that's it. Everybody you see, Vic is so insightful. Go, Vic. Thank you for summing up the BP policy.
It's not that it never happened.
Okay.
And because of that, because unfortunately there's a practice, and I've watched a lot more coverage. I have to give a little love to CNN. They did some coverage, and some others have done it, so I'm going to say it. The bottom line is a disaster is waiting in BP as it relates to its overall maintenance of its oil drilling sites and locations. So the part that I'm saying is that maybe out of this devastation comes to life some knowledge about what was happening, because just imagine if nothing happened like this and you move their operation down in years. I just think it would have been even worse, far worse, because they have this condition of pulling back on costs that has a history of what they call maintenance failures, and you've seen it. What was the last report you gave?
We showed spills, you guys. Here's what's the trip. If you go to Google and search oil spills, you'll find out about the terrible spills going out all throughout Africa. Remember, we showed you just the other day a tribe from Ecuador that came up to help assist in the cleanup because they've been dealing with a toxic oil spill down in Ecuador for like 20 years.
See,
so I'm telling you, go look. Don't just check. Hey, I'm just your radical leftist here.
Right.
Go search Google oil spills and see how much you come back up with. It's gonna shock the stuff out of you.
Yeah, and you know what?
It's gonna shock you.
You're right about something. You said the people want their jobs back. But,
because they're hungry.
Right. Now, are the jobs most important now because of the immediacy? But over the long term, there's a good chance that a lot more jobs would be lost because of their practice.
Well, jobs are important now because they can't eat. So that's why I said bail them out. See, remember, the desperation is of the people of the Gulf. I'm your radical leftist person. Remember me? But funny, I find myself sticking up for the strangest people. Why is it that your leftist community is saying, bail out the people of Louisiana, bail out the people of the Gulf? You bailing everybody else out, help shift that economy. The problem is that economy. Louisiana is one of the most polluted states in the United States because they have made it part of their industry to take everybody's toxic waste.
Right.
Okay, go look that up. Okay? This is Louisiana. These are your officials. So watch them, baby. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, it's your radical leftists that saying we should bail them out, okay?
Okay, yeah, I do. We do.
And we're gonna have the political brothers gonna be out later on. He's gonna talk about some of this in his segment.
There you go.
Because he's a fool.
He's
that political brother.
Well, you know what?
Plus he wears outrageous colors.
I think when you get the political sister and the political brother together, it's gonna be off the chain. I know I'm dating myself. I can't help that, man. It's just the way it is.
Well, I hope the political sister has like a wonderful.